Hi FlossTube Stitchers. I'm going to start today with a new shop model because the theme sets the tone for the whole video this evening. This is A Honey of a Tiny Town by Heart in Hand Needle Art, and it was stitched and framed by Bonnie Saffron of Valley Framing, but it actually belongs to me because it was my surprise belated birthday gift. So she had rolled up the fabric in a little bow and given it to me one day and said, "Don't get too excited, it's not done yet." And then she finished stitching it and let me help pick out the framing. So I just love it. First of all, I might have been too afraid to try it on this color fabric. Isn't that interesting? It's called Dirty Chai from Grace Notes Fabrics, and it actually was a fabric of the month choice, and so I was a little afraid that it wasn't going to be available, and I thought, okay, well maybe I'll just reach out to them and find out if they think it would ever be released, or if they had another substitute in their line that they would suggest. And it turns out that those fabrics do get released after 6 months. So January through July, or I guess January through June are released at one point, and then 6 months later, July through December. So this actually will be released, I think she said, did she say around, now I forget what I read in the email. Anyway, sometime this fall it will be released. So it's called Dirty Chai, and they do produce a lot of different counts and styles of fabric. So if 32 is not your favorite, you can choose something else. But she was just really bold to try that, and I actually think the colors look really nice on it. And as you remember, she stitches with one strand on 32 usually, and it looks great. Everything shows up, and it's interesting enough without being too overly busy for the design. And then we loved the frame because they look like flowers, and they really did pick up the tone of the fabric and the colors of the floss. And then we added the little gold fillet. She has matted some of her tiny towns, but we decided that this was enough and it didn't need mats. It didn't need to be any bigger than that. So I just love it. All right, and then I dug out some vintage stitches. I was preparing to redo my dining room hutch to all bees. A lot of times I do my dining room in bees and strawberries. This year I put all the strawberries in the living room, and I had some bee things left, and I was going to try to incorporate some stitching, even though most of the good stuff is here. But I had a few pieces that I had already brought out and hadn't put in place yet, and they might be really, well, two of them are going to be really hard to find because I don't even know the designer. And if I do find out eventually, I will let you know. But if I remember from the Prairie Schooler, I was a little afraid to show you something that wasn't available. Or no, it was, I didn't remember who the designer was, and a viewer said, oh, it's Prairie Schooler and this is the leaflet. So maybe somebody will, pop on and make a comment if they recognize it. So the first one is by Cedar Hill, by the original designer, and I think her name was Linda. I'm so sorry. I tried to do some research on this, and it's from too long ago. I just don't remember. And the chart for this would be in a box that I haven't unpacked since we moved 20 years ago. So that's how old it is. But this is called Honey Label, and I think I stitched it, but it's very possible that it could have been stitched for me as a gift from one of my stitch groups. And I believe that this was one of the frame choices that you could also get from the company. So I don't want to claim it as mine if somebody actually gave it to me as a gift, but I've had it so long I don't remember now. Linda had passed in a tragic accident, and I don't remember how much later it was that another lady, I think her name was Maria, bought it and tried to continue designing with it. And she had some lovely things. I also tried to look for her, and it didn't look like she was active anymore. But anyway, so that's Honey Label. And then I have this little guy. And this was, I considered a companion piece, even though I believe they were different designers, but I bought two of the same frame, and I thought they looked nice together. This one reminds me of Bright Needle, but I could not find it among any of their charts I can find online. I think they got back into the business last year or the year before, but I still can't really find anything online for them. But there's some really sweet satin stitch in the border, and I think there's some eyelet stitches there. And anyway, I think those little bees are darling. So I liked those and wanted to show you, even though I couldn't help you purchase them. So I wanted to show you this Honey of a Tiny Town was a little hard to photograph for social media because it's long and skinny. So if you get the whole thing, then you have all this open space, and if you get it too close, then you miss some of the design or don't show the frame to its fullest beauty. So I played around with redoing my, let's see, I'll show it at an angle like this. This is my dining room hutch. And so I just played around with putting some of my other bee decor there to show what that would look like on the shelf. And then I previously, a number of years, had this as a grouping right next to the hutch, but I got another bigger picture, so I took all this down. And several of the items made it to other places, and some got packed away, and I haven't used them lately. So those are my vintage stitches. And let's see, that leads me into a few stitchy gifts that I got. This also dates back to my birthday, and I never showed it for some reason. I think I took it home right away and I just forgot to show it, but this is from my other friend, Bonnie M. And it came with a box of chocolates. And she surprised me on my birthday while I was working. And she said, it was for a tiered tray, or possibly could be part of a decoration on a frame or something. But anyway, it's really sweet. These are wooden beads. And then when Pete and Kathy Firth were visiting on their way to the Teresa Kogut, actually on their way home from the Teresa Kogut retreat, they showed me a lot of his turned wooden bee skeps, and I guess this is the little gift that they give people. You possibly get it with an order. I don't know if it's just for shops or if they give it to customers as well, but it's just a really cute little, could be a scissor fob or something. But his work is really beautiful. It's really smooth, and he has a lot of really interesting things. If you want to go look him up on Etsy, it's Pete's Bee Skeps. So that was my second little bee gift. And then my friend Scott that helps me out here, he was on vacation visiting his mother, and he found this at a gift shop, and he just thought it looked just like me. So something I would like, and it has a little hanger on the back, so you have some options for how you want to display it. And I'm like, I have nothing like this. This is awesome. Doesn't look anything like the rest of my bee collection. So that was a fun surprise. So bees, bees, bees. I can never have enough bees. I don't remember which video it was, but in the first year that I was doing FlossTube videos, I did talk about my grandfather, who was a beekeeper. So that's where my love for bee themes came from. Okay, then the next thing that I saw related to the bee theme was this post just the other day in the Stitching with the Housewives fan group on Facebook. Let me get a little closer so you can see. I'm sorry for the glare, but I was interested in that little wooden sunflower. So the design there is Busy Bee Honey from Stitching with the Housewives. You don't have to show their work in the fan group, but this happens to be, oh, you know what, I think I'll make this bigger. There. That's a better look, a better view of it, close-up of the design. So I saw that, and she said that she had gotten the sunflower decor at Hobby Lobby, and my comment was, someone will be running over to Hobby Lobby after work today. Me, I'm that someone. And I did. I went to Hobby Lobby on my way home, and I found them, and I knew it obviously would work for bee decor because that's what she had on it, but it also would be good for other fall things. And you get two. And I found mine on an end cap, not necessarily anywhere near their aisles of autumn things. So if you go looking at your Hobby Lobby, don't despair if you don't find it right away, because it was on the complete opposite side of the store on an end cap. So you get two of them for $5.49, and then right now everything's 40% off. So I'm sure I'll find something, or I'll have to stitch something real quick that will fit on this. So I might do a bee thing on one of them and then something for fall on the other. So of course, while I was there, I had to look at some other things. And the first thing that I actually saw when I walked in the store was this, and it's just called fall tableware. So I'm not really sure. I don't know. I suppose it could be a candy dish, or you could put a candle in it, but I was thinking I would like to do either make it into a pin cushion with a removable lid that you could like put your orts inside or something, or just, you know, a lid with a design on it. So I can use it in the meantime until I find the right thing for it. I'll find a use for it. But anyway, I thought it was really pretty, and I've always been a fan of off-white. Well, I have like an off-white pumpkin collection, but I'm just a fan of off-white decor because it just blends so well with everything else you have. So I had to have that. And then I found these leaf decorations, and you get 16 of them for $5.49. And there's, it looks like there's 3 or 4 different colors in there. And they have this wire running through it, and then at the end so that you could twirl the wire around something, or you could bend it so that it sticks up a little bit in your tiered tray, or you could, you know, put it in the back of a bow on a bigger piece. So I thought these would come in handy for multiple uses. And then I have LED lights for various holidays and themes for the tiered tray, but I don't think I have pumpkins. And you know what? If I already have pumpkins, who cares if I have 2? I'll use them in 2 different places, but I had to get them with the 40% off sale. And then I had seen these before, and I honestly don't remember if I might already have one. I don't think I bought all the colors the first time, but I might have one. But if I do have a duplicate, I could always do the same color in 2 different seasons so that it's not that obvious that I have the same thing. But anyway, these were little easels that have designs on, but they're just perfect because you've got the square base right there, and there's enough of this showing that even if you put a little bit of fabric or rickrack or something around it, you'd still see, you know, some of the backing. These are $5.49. So I got the off-white. I honestly think I might have the green one already, but green can be used for so many different themes, seasons, and holidays that I'm not worried about that. Plus, I like it as is, too. I just like, you know, I like what it says. And then I wouldn't ordinarily go for this color, but it does look good with fall things and maybe prim Christmas or Valentine's Day. So I decided I was going to buy all the colors while they were on sale and go home and look at my stash, look at the things that have been sitting around, piling up, waiting to do a non-framed finish. And I didn't have a whole lot of time to look, but I did remember that I had this done and decided not to frame it because I really wanted to do an alternative finish for this. You know what, I'll show it to you this first and then I'll show you what it says afterwards. But this is Thankful Owls from Bent Creek. And I have some silverware, kind of big charms, like couple inch pieces. And so I could put that in a bow, and I'm sure I've got some plaid flannel or something. So I thought that looks really good on that color. And without the stitching, this is what it says. Meals and memories are made here. So, and I'm pretty sure I don't have this because I would remember the saying, unless they do them with different sayings. So I'm excited about that. Excited that this might be my next fully finished, non-framed thing. Yeah, we'll see. But I'm motivated because I've had this stitched actually for a couple years. So that's shame on me for not moving forward on that. Okay, so that was all from Hobby Lobby. And then I'm going to show you my whips. So I've been working on Forever in Peace from Sweet Wing Studio, and somebody on social media asked me if I had changed all the colors because it didn't look anything like the front cover. I believe, well, you can kind of tell that the photo is not accurate because there's this pink tinge to it, only in that corner. And honestly, next to the colors that they call for, regardless of whether it's the same dye lot or not, this photo is just unnaturally bright. So it's not, it's really pretty. They're really pretty colors, but it's way brighter than what the colors are in person. So anyway, I'm using basically the same colors, except I substituted some Classic Colorworks for the General Art just because of availability. And I was excited this week to start adding the blue. So I was working on the blue this week. And I do have the colors written down, so I've been able to help customers in the store, you know, make the changes if they want to. I was going to say something else about this. Oh, on social media, I was looking for, how am I going to describe that? I always called it the blue field of the flag, but the field, I think, is supposed to be the rest of the flag. And this is called the Union or the Canton or something like that. So I did a little research on the flag. I used to know a lot more about the flag. I did a lot of research a number of years ago because our very first, well, we started calling them Friday Fun Nights after a while, but the very first one had a patriotic theme because I think Flag Day, June 14th, fell on a Friday, so it was perfect. And I think we had 40 people at that event at our old store. And everything was flag related. We had 4 flag projects, and there was a little quiz on flags. And anyway, I knew a lot about it then, but I have forgotten it then. But anyway, I'm having fun with that. I was really happy to add the blue to it this week. And then the next thing that I was working on was Liberty Bell, the free chart from Thread Milk Design. And that's what the whole chart looks like. And the finished model that I had in the summer stitching slideshow video was submitted by Sheila Loves Greg on FlossTube, and she left off the star and she added 1776. So I might copy her idea to add the year. And the original model was done on 36 platinum, which, you know, is kind of like flax, or it's, you know, it's just a nice basic color. But I had the perfect scrap of 36 Ren from Picture This Plus. So I'm almost done with the bottom part of the bell. I just have to do the handle. And then I've been contemplating, but I got to make up my mind soon because I'll get to that quickly. I'm trying to decide if I want to do the border and the word Liberty in black or a really dark navy. So I don't know what I was saying when I had my coughing fit. I don't know where I was in the conversation, but I believe I was talking about possibly changing the color of the word Liberty and the border around this design to a dark navy or a black. And what I'm going to do is throw it next to some of my other smalls to see what it would look like if it were put with those in a tiered tray or dough bowl or on the kitchen island or whatever, and you know, see if black would work. I love black. I love black and gold together because, of course, it reminds me of bees. But anyway, I think I might have inadvertently chosen this the other day when I was showing it to a customer. This is a black crow from the General Art, and as it often does, it has a blue streak running through it. And I thought, well, there I have the best of both worlds, black and dark blue, and I don't have to worry. It doesn't have to be matchy-matchy, but you know what I mean. If you're going to change a color, you're going to think about it and consider all the possible choices and what other factors go into that decision. So anyway, but I think that's going to work. So I should be getting to that this week. I've also been working on the secret project, but when I work on the bell, because that was a new start that I didn't expect to do, I'm only using one length of thread, and then I have to put it away and work on my other projects. But still, it's going fast. And the color of the bell is gingerbread. Let's see. I'll hold it up there so you can see, which was the suggested color, but any lovely gold would work with that. Okay, then new charts. We didn't get a whole lot this week, but we did get the Stitching with the Housewives. I'm losing my glasses here. And they have a new series called Monthly Weigh-In. They started with September, and it's so cute, and you get both designs in there. And I've seen with previous series, sometimes people put the September right above the other design on the same piece of fabric, and that looks cute too. This is a finishing piece from Paisleys and Polka Dots, and you get it as unfinished wood and then you paint it. But that's really cute. I think it's going to be a nice series. And if you have an antique scale, that's kind of an awesome way to display it too. Then from their Up on a Pedestal series, they have Americana Bakery. And her famous yard sauce as a recipe. So that's a really cute finish too. And then Kathy from Hands On Design and Beth from Summer House Stitchworks have another Between Friends chart. And this is a summer sampling. This is what the front cover looks like. And these are all of the projects that are included. And there's also a picture of this design done on the carrot colored fabric. So if you're into gardening, this is a wonderful book for you. All those projects in there. And that's kind of it for new stuff this week. Then I wanted to remind you of the buy one, get one sale on select designers. It has to be in stock only, and I have PDF files ready for all but I think one designer ready to send to customers if you want to see what I have in stock, because I keep finding charts in different places. Like we have a Halloween rack, a Christmas rack, we had a stitching bin, a cat and dog category, and I'm like, oh wait, I didn't look in there. So I'm still updating the list, but I just refresh the PDF file each time. Anyway, the designers, and again, I'm not getting rid of these designers. They're some of my favorites, but leftover merchandise from trunk shows and automatics and expo online purchases and that sort of thing, and trying to have a little extra cash and make some room for the show that's taking place at the end of August. So here are the designers: Amy Brecken, Audi TM, Chessie and Me, Heartstring Samplery, Hello from Liz Matthews, Heinzit, Homespun Elegance, Kathy Barrick, Lucy Beam, Manny Dodonna, Nebby Needle, Peacock and Fig, Romy's Creations, Scissortail Designs, and Val Stuff. If you provided a photo of your summer stitching and I didn't use it in my video, it's probably because it had bees in it, and I'm gonna save those. I'd love to do a bee-themed video in August. So, you know, you get to see my stitching, and unless we're personal Facebook friends or you have an Instagram account that I can follow, I don't really get to see your stitching. This is a great way to share, and I was, like I said last time, I was really inspired by what I saw, and I found things that I hadn't stitched yet that maybe I had forgotten about it. Maybe I have the chart in my stash, but haven't stitched it yet. So anyway, if you would like to submit a picture, probably the best way is through email. I know there were a few that were blurry, and I don't know how that happens because it looked really clear to me. If you have a choice when you send the photo, pick the highest resolution so it comes through better. But I don't really know how that, sometimes you don't get a choice. You just pick the picture and it sends. So I'm not sure about that. So I apologize for anything that was blurry. In the FlossTube video by Jan Hicks that featured my shop, I provided those photos to her, and they are perfectly clear on my end, and I could use them on social media and they would be perfect. I don't know why they went through blurry. I did not have a choice as to how to send them. Nothing came up and said, how would you like to send them? I just thought they were coming through, and they ended up blurry in her video. So I really don't know how that happens. I'm not that techie. If you know, if you have the answer, let us know. Okay, that's it for today. My table is clear in front of me. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.